What a day, what a Sunday, and what a win for the San Francisco 49ers. Final score 26-23 over the Cincinnati Bengals in overtime. San Francisco had a depleted secondary. They were up by 2 scores. The Bengals came back thanks to Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase making plays happen. They force overtime. But at the end of the day, the Niners move their record to 7-6 on the year. They go 75 yards down the field after the Bengals had kicked a field goal to take a 3-point lead in overtime to win this game. We're doing a post-game mailbag right here on the 49ers Report, taking your questions live right here on the channel. A couple of super chats coming in, a couple of questions coming in. I am answering all of them, and if you missed our reaction to the 49ers winning this game with Brandon Aiyuk, a little toe drag swag, getting the ball inside the pylon, go back and watch it on our 49ers watch party because we had a ton of people join us all throughout the day. Couple of super chats to get to. Harold Murillo, $5 super chat, 49ers worldwide. This one coming in from Olive Oil, a $2 super chat, just saying, good game, let's go. $10 super chat coming in from Sean Lewis for the playoffs. Because with the Washington football team loss, the Niners were able to move up from 7th place to 6th place in the NFC. They are further solidifying and helping themselves out with a massive win against the Bengals here on Sunday. Anza, a $2 super chat. She was joining us for our watch party as well. Thank you for the great show. Thank you for making the 49ers Report a part of your day. And for John Wallace, fitting finish. We ride this red and gold. It really was a miraculous game and performance for the 49ers. IFR Dries with $50 coming in from Denmark Cash, because here on the channel we have people tuned in from all across the globe. $3 super chat from Dale Wilson, just sending some celebration emojis. Crux98, a $5 super chat. That Aiyuk TD was clean in overtime. It certainly was. Garoppolo hit him coming across the middle, I believe, somewhere in that short intermediate area. Aiyuk was able to get the edge on the perimeter, tiptoe along the sideline to get that ball in and get in for the score. Montana Works, a $5 super chat. 49ers best team in the NFL, fight me. I'm not going to go as far as to say that. I will tell you this, though, Montana. When San Francisco is on its game, when San Francisco is playing as well as they're capable of playing, they can hang with anybody in the NFC. That's why I think, and that's why I've been saying, this Niners team is very dangerous moving forward. They had to get this win today, and by moving their record to 7-6, taking on the Atlanta Falcons, another team in the wild card picture, this does wonders for their playoff positioning. Brad Taylor was watching us all throughout our watch party as well with the $5 super chat. Thank you for supporting the show. Dreadhead David 420, so happy. Isn't the whole Niner gang happy? You go up by 2 touchdowns. The Bengals come back with some late game heroics from Joe Burrow, and you have to give him credit because he was fantastic. Joe Burrow, sophomore player. Jamar Chase, a rookie player. Both of those guys making monster plays happen. But for the 49ers and Kyle Shanahan to show some mental fortitude and to come back after dealing with some adversity, going down by 3 in overtime, to drive 75 yards down the field, miraculous, and a gutting, really ballsy performance for the Niners today. David Vilma, a $5 super chat. Bang, bang, baby. Bang, bang, baby, because as we are in the heat of December football, the Niners have a shot at a playoff berth, and right now, it's looking pretty damn good. Miguel C., also with the $5 super chat, he also sent in an emoji. To take you through some of the stats, we'll go team by team here. Really, it was a back-and-forth interesting game in which both teams on critical downs were not good. San Francisco on 3rd downs, 5 of 15. The Bengals, 4 of 13. San Francisco really able to take advantage of a couple of special teams miscues for the Bengals today. All year and this past week, we were talking about a special teams unit for the 49ers that's been one of the worst in the league. It has cost them games. There's no question about it. Finally today, San Francisco on the opposite side of that, as they were able to force 2 fumbles on punt returns and really able to change the momentum and get some early points in this game. Let me ask you this, Niner gang. With this win, over the Bengals. Final score, 26-23 with the Brandon Aiyuk game-winning score. How confident are you in the 49ers making the playoffs? Scale it for me from 1 to 10. That is going to be the pinned comment on today's postgame show. So if you get hit with that YouTube ad break, scroll on down and get your votes in. Next question coming in from Jaden McKnight. Playoff probabilities. If we can show the NFC playoff picture, I think that would serve us well, producer Jeremy, and I'll give you some minutes and some moments to pull that up. Really, this does the 49ers wonders because with a win, they're able to move their record to 7-6 on the year. So that is now updated here. Of course, the Rams and the Cardinals are going to play on Monday Night Football. Depending on what happens there, that changes things with the Rams. The Washington football team, that is updated. They do drop to 6-7 on the year. So going into Sunday, going into game day, San Francisco was in that final and last spot in the NFC playoff picture. But because Washington lost, the Niners had already moved up to that 6th spot in the NFC. And now you see it right on the fly. With a win, the 49ers are 7-6, right there at 6th place. But let's say that the Rams lose to go to 8-5 on the year. The 49ers welcome the Atlanta Falcons to Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara next week. The Atlanta Falcons folks are 6-7. That game, like this game, like the game against the Vikings a couple weeks ago, going to be massive for playoff implications. That's where the NFC playoff picture stands right now. Let's move forward. Hitman L. Should D'Amico Ryans be fired for bad defensive calls in the second half of these games? No. When you're up, you play prevent coverage. And when you play prevent coverage with safeties back, you really play the sticks, meaning you have a lot of defenders at that first down marker and you give up a lot of yards in front of you. And that's what we saw transpire in this game. There's also this. The 49ers were hammered with injuries in the secondary. That's why Diamador Lenore and Ambry Thomas had to play so much. And Ambry Thomas looked like a rookie today. His technique was bad. 2 illegal hands to the face. He had to go one-on-one against Jamar Chase, and oftentimes Jamar Chase was able to win that matchup. But D'Amico Ryans at times did call for really crucial blitzes, and those blitzes were able to get home on Joe Burrow, generate pressure, and that was a big part of this game. Mikey Sue's 4. Will we ever use Trey Lance again? He'd fit in Wildcat formations or as a backup running back or wide receiver. I think the last part of that question is somewhat ludicrous, to be honest with you. You don't want Trey Lance as a running back or a wide receiver. He's the future face of your franchise. You want this guy to be your future quarterback, and I think next year he is going to be the starter, and I think when he is the starter, he's going to unlock a different dimension of this 49ers offense. Now, what's not ludicrous is what you said about can we ever use Trey Lance again. In short yardage situations, in goal line situations, I think they should use Trey Lance a little bit more. I think why Kyle Shanahan is not doing that is because they ran him a lot in his first ever start and his only start against the Arizona Cardinals. He sprained his knee, and he doesn't want him to get injured again. If you remember, there's also been some finger injuries as well. I think that's why Kyle Shanahan is erring on the side of caution. 1, you don't want those injuries to pile up. 2, you want to maintain and keep the confidence for your rookie quarterback. Today's sponsor, it is BetUS, our sportsbook partner here on the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. If you enter the promo code Niners125 after entering that link at the bottom of your screen, chatsports.com/49bet, you get a 125% deposit bonus. What that means is you put $100 into your account, you get an additional $125 back. You know who's really happy? Me. Because I had the Niners -3, and because of that Brandon Aiyuk touchdown in overtime, my bet hit. I was able to win some money. You want to win some money? Use that link in that promo code down below. We move forward in our postgame show with this question coming in from J-Man B. Who could we get to solve our secondary problems to save us in the backfield to make a run in the postseason? Honestly, at this point, there aren't many players who you could target in free agency who are going to be impact players. There just aren't. The 49ers secondary is depleted by injury. After Jason Verrett went down, I had concerns about the secondary because they're already thin with the lack of premier talent. You're going to have to move forward with the rookies in Ambry Thomas as well as Diamador Lenore. You're going to have to move forward with Josh Dorman as the other starting cornerback on this team. Now, K'Wan Williams is pretty solid. Emmanuel Mosley has been one of the best cornerbacks according to the analytics all year long. He's out for the next couple of weeks because of an ankle injury. Once you get those reinforcements back, you could be okay. But how you can survive having a weak secondary is if you have a legitimate pass rush who can generate pressure and not give opposing quarterbacks any time to throw. Andre, who gets the game ball? That's a really good question. Nick Bosa is up there. He generated consistent pressure on Joe Burrow, and I want to say he entered the game, I know this, with 12 sacks on the year. He got, and I don't know if some of them were half sacks or not, he might have added 2 or 3 more sacks to his resume. So he's up there. Jimmy Garoppolo's up there. 75 yards. When you're down by 3 in overtime, that right there is big time. Brandon Aiyuk with the game-winning touchdown. Let me give a shout-out to George Kittle. Consistently made monster plays for this Niners offense. And on top of him, having, I believe, 191 receiving yards last week and 2 touchdowns, he comes back with 13 catches, 151, and another touchdown. George Kittle showing the last 2 weeks why he's paid the way he is and why he is one of the best all-around tight ends in the NFL. I make the argument he's the best all-around tight end in the NFL, right up there with Rob Gronkowski. Travis Kelce doesn't block like him, nor does Darren Waller. Who do you think should get the game ball? That's the question that I was just asked. Let me know who you think should get the game ball right now in the comments section, and just drop me some names down below. It can be more than one. Lil Spark, who was more clutch in the final stretch? Jimmy, Kittle, Jennings, or Aiyuk? Lil Spark, you make a great point. All of them were clutch in the final stretch. Jimmy Garoppolo made the necessary throws. George Kittle, just a huge game, as I just talked about. Jawan Jennings, kind of an unsung hero. Don't let his performance fly under the radar. 3 catches for 46 yards, some of them in very clutch moments. He had that catch to flip the field a little bit. Brandon Aiyuk, my gosh. I mean, the guy has come such a long way from the first 5 weeks of the season. Today, he was really good. 6 catches, 62 yards, and that game-winning score on 11 targets. What does that tell me? He's come a long way. Kyle Shanahan has more confidence in him. So too does Jimmy Garoppolo. But the mental fortitude for Brandon Aiyuk, really strong as well. Make sure you subscribe to the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. I am your host, Chase Sr. Our watch party, it was absolutely lit. It was really exciting. But that's not the only thing that we do. And pushing out these post-game videos, not the only thing that we do either. Free daily videos covering everything that happens with this franchise. We just surpassed 46,000 subscribers today. Be a part of the faithful family. Let's hit that half-century mark. Daniel reached out to me a couple times on Twitter. Appreciate the interaction, my guy. Is Ambry Thomas a bust? Look, first extended action today. Way too early to tell. 3rd-round pick. Did he look like a 3rd-round pick today? No. Did he get beat a lot by Jamar Chase? There is no question about it. It's way too early to say that Ambry Thomas is a bust. Now, what I will tell you, he got beat a couple times on double moves. That comes down to bad technique. That comes down to not having a lot of experience. He also got whistled for 2 illegal hands to the face. That's like the definition of bad technique. He hit Jamar Chase in the helmet. You gotta, Corey Unlin, defensive backs coach, gotta tell Ambry Thomas, gotta contact him and hit him right in the chest. Shouldn't even come close to his face mask. That's a learning lesson for Ambry Thomas. Noah GQ Pena. Does George Kittle look hurt? He did. So he's been dealing with the calf injury for much of this year. Or at least if he hasn't been dealing with that calf injury the last couple of weeks, he has dealt with that calf injury for some time this year. And I saw him, and I don't know if it's because his workload was so high on top of what he did last week, 13 grabs, 151 in the score, if that's why his calf or his leg or his lower body was bothering him just a bit. But there's no doubt George Kittle looked hampered just a little bit. That's something to monitor and continue looking at moving forward. Analyst 504, last question in this bag. Is Greenlaw healthy? Defense getting really thin at linebacker and cornerback. So Azeez Al-Shire did leave the game early. Fred Warner was banged up. He came back, so it looks as though he is okay. Dre Greenlaw hasn't played the last couple of weeks. Now, he's really only played 2 games this year. The season opener against the Lions when he had that pick 6, and then a couple games ago, I think he made his return against the Minnesota Vikings. Please correct me if I'm wrong. It's been a long day. But he should be getting healthier. He re-injured that groin. I hope he's not lost for the rest of the year. He is a very good player. I love interacting with the Niner gang on social media, Twitter, Instagram, whatever. Hit me up at Chase_Senior. Give me a follow. Slide in my DMs. I love interacting and chopping it up with the San Francisco 49ers faithful. You guys are the best fan base in sports, especially after a win like today. Final score, Niners 26, Bengals 33. What a thriller. What a game. Niners up by 2 scores. Bengals come back, and then the Niners down by 3 in overtime end up coming through with the dub.